Hello, how are you tonight? I am Judith Patterson. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Texas. You probably already know that if you're watching this live. I am, let's see, it's 6 p.m. right now, Central Time. So if you're watching, say hello. With the program I use, I can't tell if anybody's there or not unless you say hello in the comments. So, so let me know if you're here. And if you're watching this after 6 p.m. on Thursday night, let's see, today is March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Then let me know in the comments by hitting hashtag replay. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for being here. And hopefully you can join me soon for my next live on Thursday night at 6 p.m. Central Time. All right, so today I don't really have a lot to talk about. Anxiously awaiting the reveal of the new annual catalog that will be coming out soon. It's actually not going to be available to customers until I think the beginning of May. We'll start mailing them out in April, but you won't be able to purchase until May. But we as demonstrators get to see it next week, and I am super excited about that. So if you want a sneak peek as well, now is a great time to sign up as a demonstrator and get that sneak peek. So if you're interested in that, let me know, and I will answer all those questions for you here on this Facebook Live, or you can send me a private message, and I'll be glad to talk with you that way. All right, so today we're going to be making it's a sweet baby card. I'm actually really excited about this card. And I think it would be a great one to alter just a smidge and put in a baby album even. It's really cute. So I'm going to be using this Prince and Princess stamp set. This is a host set from the annual catalog, the 2021 to 2022 annual catalog. So if you're interested in this set, you have about 5 or 6 weeks left to purchase it. You do have to purchase it with a host order, which is $150 or more. So you can, if you have a lot of things you want to purchase, then you can do that yourself. Or you can get some friends together and put together an order so that you can get this stamp set. So I'm going to be using the swan and the water ripples here. And then welcome to the world is the sentiment that I decided to use with this one. Okay, so I'm using my Stamparatus because I am going to be embossing with Clear Embossing Powder over my colored ink. So I've already measured out where I want this to go. I've got a little arrow pointing here. So I'm just going to add these magnets. And I do have my mat on here because I'm using the photopolymer stamp. So if I was using the red cling stamp, then I would take that mat off. So the swan, I'm going to stamp in basic gray. So last week I was kind of bummed. We used to have, way back in the day, embossing powder that came in colors. Now we just have our basic colors, clear and metallics. So we used to get them in all different colors, and I was really missing that. And then I thought, wait a minute, I've done this before. I can do this again. I can use my ink, and with the Stamparatus, it's so easy. So I'm stamping that first, and then I've already got the water ripples up here on this one. I figured out exactly where they needed to go to line up right. So I'm going to stamp that one with Coastal Cabana. And then I'm going to clean these stamps off real quick with my chamois. And then I'm going to stamp them again with Versamark, and then I can use my clear embossing powder and emboss over it. And do you know what I did not do yet, but I will? I haven't used my embossing buddy to clean off, get all the static off my cardstock. So if you don't have an embossing buddy, unfortunately, we're not selling those right now, but you can get them. I know Amazon has them. And you can also use just a used dryer sheet. I don't know that that would work as well, but it's something to do in a pinch for sure. Sorry about that squeak. I know that has to be awful coming across that microphone. Okay, so I'm going to give this one hit with my heat tool just to make sure it's totally dry. We should be good. Now I'm going to do the embossing buddy to get all that static out. So now I'm going to ink both of these up with Versamark. I'm going to do the swan first. And just as a reminder, when I use my Stamparatus, I always gently pull out on whichever plate. So if I'm doing this plate, I pull out this way. If I'm doing the top plate, I pull down. Just real gently so that I'm making sure I stamp in the exact same spot every time. And then I use my bone folder to put between the plate and my cardstock so that my sticky stamp doesn't pull off my cardstock. I don't want it to move at all. I don't care if it moves now because now I'm finished stamping. Okay, so remember on your Stamparatus, you can't fold both plates down at the same time, so just lift one off and you can stack it up and you're good to go. Okay, so this is Clear Embossing Powder. My embossing powder is so old, y'all, so old. So we used to also have Dazzling Diamonds embossing powder, which was really fun and sparkly. And over the years, I have somehow mixed in my Dazzling Diamonds just a little bit with my clear. So my clear always has a little bit of a sparkle to it, which I think is actually kind of fun. And it's perfect for this card. Just cleaning up some of that extra embossing powder. And now pardon me for just a second while I do my heat embossing. So previously I went ahead and stamped the swan on Post-it notes. I've got two notes stacked on top of each other here because I wanted to make sure that the spray I'm fixing to use didn't go through. So I left two notes together, stamped it, and then fussy cut around it with my paper snips. So now I'm going to place it right here on top of the swan that I've stamped and embossed. I'm doing all kinds of fun techniques on this one. So now I'm gonna get, this is just an old paper pumpkin box that I've put some paper towels in. And I have a Stampin Spritzer that I filled with rubbing alcohol. And I put probably 5 to 10, probably put about 5 to 10 drops of this Coastal Cabana ink refill into this Stampin Spritzer, and then I'm just shaking it up. And before I squirt on anything that I want to keep, I'm just going to squirt inside this box and make sure that it's squirting good. So yep, that looks great. So now I'm gonna place my swan in here. Make sure that's mushed down. And then I just squirted myself. How silly is that? So you can get as much ink on there as you want to, or as little as you want to. Thankfully that'll wash off in a day or so. Probably next time I wash my hands, actually. It'll probably just be fine. Okay. And then pull that off. And the swan is still nice and white and beautiful. So now I'm going to use the dark Pale Papaya Stampin' Blend. And I'm just going to color her beak in. I'm going to grab that the paper pumpkin box again. And I'm going to use this time a water painter. We have 3 sizes here, so I'm going to use the smallest one. And I'm going to get my polished pink ink pad. I got a little ahead of myself, and I need to grab that Post-it again. Covering this one back up. So what I'm doing is squeezing my water painter to get some water on the tip of my brush. And then I'm dipping it in this paint that I've squeezed into the lid of my stamp pad. And then I'm just sprinkling or splattering pink ink around the swan. And again, you can do as little or as much as you want. And then when you're finished, just squeeze some more water into that tip and brush it out until it runs clear. And then that's nice and clean. So now let's remove that Post-it again. This time I'm for real. I'm through with the Post-it. There we go. Okay, so the base for this card is polished pink also. This piece is 3/4 of an inch by 5 inches. And then I have a smoky slate. You know, earlier I said I stamped in basic gray. It's smoky slate that I stamped in. So, and this is a smoky slate piece that is 3.5 inches by 5.25 inches. So first I'm going to go ahead and put this on my card base. I'm centering it vertically, so from top to bottom, it's centered up, but I'm going to keep it along this left edge, opening it to make sure that that is indeed the left edge. It is. So now I'm going to take this one and do the same thing. I'm just putting some liquid glue on the back. And then I'm going to center it vertically on this smoky slate. Smooth it out. So you can use any rubbing alcohol that you have handy. I like to use this 99% alcohol. This is just what I keep in my craft room. I like it because it dries faster. So it doesn't warp your paper as much as something with more water in it would. Okay. So I'm almost finished with this one. I went ahead and embossed Welcome to the World with white embossing powder before I got started here. And I'm just going to use mini Stampin' Dimensionals to pop this up. I did it once on the back and I didn't like the way it came out, so I flipped it over and did it again. And I just used my paper snips to trim around the sentiment into the shape that I wanted. So I'm just going to put that right here. And then for a fun little touch, I'm going to grab my flowers. So these are loose flower flourishes, and they're in the new 20, well, they're not super new, but the 2021 to 2023 in colors. That's what these are. And I like to use glue dots to stick these. So I'm just going to place one on the glue dot. And then I'm going to put it, just going to put it right there. And then I'm going to get another big one. I'm going to put it right about there. Then I thought I had a half a glue dot on my desk, but I don't. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab this. And I'm going to use my paper snips and cut it in half. And then I'm going to just fold that over. And I'm going to use one of these little pale papaya flowers. This is the small size. Pick up that glue dot and stick it just right here. Of course, you can put the flowers wherever you want to put them, but that's how I'm putting them. And then that's the front of our card, all done. So for the inside, I have just a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of basic white. I stamped the flowers with basic tuxedo black memento ink, and then colored them in with the soft succulent and polished pink Stampin' blends. I used light blends for both. And then for the envelope, you have 2 choices. I couldn't decide what I liked better. Hey, Rosemary. Oh, you're in Ohio. Well, hope you're staying warm up there. I have no idea what the temperature's like in Ohio right now, but we're toasty here and getting blown away. The wind is insane. You'll have to let me know whenever you get back to Texas. Okay, so I did one on the corner down here, and I like it, but then I thought, well, what if I did it on the flap, on the back of the flap? So I've got that done right here. So it's your choice. You can do one of these, something totally different, or just leave your envelope blank. I just like to have them decorated up a little bit. So that is our card for today. And it just shows you a few different techniques that you can do. My favorite of all of those, though, is being able to do the clear embossing powder on top of the just regular stamping with colored inks to get a different variety of embossing. So, and as a reminder, I have one of these left. So whoever orders from me next will get this as a bonus card in their thank you. All right. So if y'all have any questions about, as always, about Stampin' Up, paper crafting, anything like that, then let me know. I will be, oh, thank you, Rosemary. I'll be happy to answer any of those questions, either here on my Facebook Live. You can shoot me a text, send me an email, send me a Facebook message, anything like that, and I will be glad to answer your questions, and happy to schedule a Zoom meeting as well if you want to talk face-to-face. All right. So I hope y'all have a fantastic weekend and happy stamping.